category War and Peace. Of course, knocked out the one biplane, and I don't know that the third photograph from the left. This, I imagine, is a proof. It'll be a proof from the they'll have used originals and then setting it up to be published in the Employees magazine.
Right.
This is probably early proofs to see what it was looking like.
Wonderful stuff, that.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there you are. There's. Shooting the foyer is fine, but
Great.
preferably not in the next hour because they're having several million boxes delivered. These things.
Are they being delivered right now, are they?
Within the next hour. We've got tons to do.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Gosh.
These 21 scrapbooks were compiled by Maud Boucher from the start of the war until after the armistice. They're in chronological order, so you'll find things that I'm interested in or which relate tangentially to Bristol Grammar School mixed in with VCs awarded to Angel James and Lumsden. It's, as I say, it's in chronological order, not in order of importance to school. The first page is related to Belgian refugees. Many came to Bristol. Bristol Grammar School raised funds for them, and some of the boys actually attended the school. I believe one of those Belgian refugee boys from the school later joined the army.
Okay.
Most of this is notes made by Maud. It relates to lists of commissions in the 4th and 6th Gloucesters and includes Lieutenant Rodman, who is not Bristol Grammar School but who crops up in the history later on, and Maud refers to my brother Frank, who I think must be her brother Frank Treadwell Boucher, a BGS boy.
Excellent.
Letters from Bristolians about how to treat German nationals. People had to be very careful at this time not to be seen doing anything which would lead to any suspicion. There'll be another article on this sort of subject later on. And the next 3. 96 to 97. Officers commanding the 4th Gloucesters with photograph. And photographs of Bristol Zone. We can't identify them, but there must be BGS boys in there.
Okay.
Volume 3. This is the sinking in March 1915 of the Bristol liner, the Bayano. Our midshipman Goff was one of the casualties here. Captain Melville Wills, not a BGS boy, much too upper class, part of the WD&HO Wills empire. Ironically, the impact of his death on Bristol Grammar School was that the headmaster could not ask his father to subsidise sports day, so in 1915 there was no sports day. Nor indeed, I think, throughout the war. They did it more quietly. Melville Wills, his father, this soldier's father, gave the sports ground at Golden Hill to the school in about 1912.
Can you just point to the image? Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he is. Death of Major Ernest Gardner, who was certainly a family friend of the Bouchers, and I need to check if he has a connection with BGS. There he is. Yeah. Friend of Frank Treadwell, Boucher by the look of it. Okay. And 5. Now, I referred to the letters about German spies earlier. This letter is from Ulrich Wolfgang Just. He was one of the many sons of the Herr Just, who was the German master at BGS for a lot of the later part of the 19th century. All the boys attended Bristol Grammar School. this particular one became a leading civil servant and was decorated for his work in the civil service. Two of his relatives fought and were decorated in the British Army, and they are, of course, with a name like Just, and all of them were called Wolfgang. They did meet problems because they were of German extraction, but they felt very British.
Okay.
I've got proper pictures of him in Bristolienses that we can tie in. Oh, I have got something in 6. 686. Yes, this is Salonika and Lord Derby's recruiting scheme. We didn't have very many people out in Salonika. This is a report made by a Bristol vicar, the Vicar of Bishopston, and on the opposite page is Lord Derby discussing the Lord Derby scheme. It was a matter of national importance whether or not they went for conscription as opposed to volunteering. And I believe Stanley Booker's younger brother Walter put his name down under Lord Derby's scheme, but between his poor eyesight and the fact that he was almost certainly in a protected profession, he didn't actually serve.
Okay.
Yes, more about Lord Derby's scheme here. A lot of it hung on whether married men should be conscripted. And then this is a complaint about the way conscientious objectors are treated in Bristol. So far, I've found 3 boys who didn't serve in the armed forces on ethical grounds. 2 of them joined the Friends Ambulance Unit. The 3rd was taken to court, and I believe ultimately gave in and did serve. I wonder if there are more such cases within the school. And 30 to 31, yes. I think Captain Newth must be our Newth. And we have Frank Hannam is one of our casualties, 2 articles about him recruiting. Three articles and a comment by Maud how nice it was to see him.
Okay.
British retire from Baghdad, retreat before the Bulgarians, and 2 members of the Dickinson-Robinson company, the family Robinson, who died. Again, not BGS boys, but friends of theirs. I'm losing count.
Okay.
Long Ashton's war record, a lot of people for a relatively small place, including Frank Hannam of BGS and the 4th Gloucesters. And I think it turns the page, yes. Lots more of them. But Maud hasn't marked anymore, so they may have no connection with the school. Honour. Page 38. This is a loose item, and it's about the son of the cricketer W.G. Grace, Captain Henry Edgar Grace, who was commanding a ship in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
And the next item is about one of our casualties, Private Helps. Was Maud's brother-in-law, so she has a lot to say. So I'll just turn the pages as...
Yeah, that's fine, just to get a flavour.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Sorry, let me just get that date on. Okay.
It was by his grave that we ate the traditional croissant.
Ah, right. Yep.
So we've got a melange of all sorts of things. A lot of this is about Lieutenant Grace, who was a cousin of the Bouchers. I think he was Clifton College rather than Oxford. And I think Rodman, who's on page 43, I think he and not Langford, Jack Langford.
Oh, yes.
Lizzie's, the one Lizzie worries about. I think Rodman and Langford went missing together, and they're on the same memorial. That very windswept one. And page 65. MC for Bristol officer. Who I'm not finding. Here we are. Langford, W.J. Langford. So that bit, yeah. Decoration. Page 86. Decoration for Fleet Paymaster Weeks. Which again I'm not finding. Probably down here. There we are. That cutting in particular. Weeks was one of the sons of another master at BGS, and one of his brothers became an eminent churchman. Another one was, I think, a lawyer, and he was fleet paymaster, which I think was sort of admiral rank. Decorations for Bristol officers and men. Yes, including Slade. He's, I think, buried up in Belgium.
Did we?
Lizzie and Nicky and Doug and I visited
Right.
his grave, but we need to go back to put a poppy on it. But he's one of the reasons why I check references to old Cliftonians, because this is a Bristol boy. He came to BGS first and went on to Clifton when he was 13, 14 years old. So the boy is a Bristol boy. It's worth checking that they didn't go to the grammar school for a couple of years around the ages 10, 11, 12, 13. Though it does extend how far we're looking. Dimmock. An old Bristol grammar school boy. Yes, again, Pritchard and Pratt seem to have been friends of the Bouchers. Whether they actually had a connection with BGS, unknown. Of course, Maud's comments are giving us far more information than will be find outable by any other means. You just don't get clear details of how and when and where people died.
This was all done at the time.
And this was done at the time because the relatives were informed and they told Maud, or of course she knew about her brother Frank. Yeah. But it was a very wide circle of friends, BGS and Clifton, not just Clifton College, but Clifton, the area as well. Page 102. Death confirmed of Captain Rodman. There he is. Wearing glasses. But note on that page the references to Bristol Tramways lady tram conductors. When the men came back from the army, they were incensed to find that women had got their job, and there was action taken over these intruders. If that's the 1912 one, that's the one to emphasise, because that's when he was leaving school with every prize possible.
Yep.
Unless it's annotated, I've got every school. What's that?
Annual prize distribution.
Those are the days when it was news.
Yeah.
Who got the prize? The old Bristolians' prize for neatness.
Prize for neatness, like that.
Because neatness and legibility.
Fabulous.
This is young Walter. He left school and he went into draftsmanship and I say,
look at that.
His writing is incredibly neat.
His drawings, I mean those.
Listing his diaries, I think he was genuinely designing useful war stuff. I found some letters about what he did before he subsequently went on to be a clergy person. Yeah, I know, they're wonderful, aren't they?
They are absolutely astonishing, the detail. Wow. I mean, I loved map drawing when I was a kid, but those are absolutely incredible.
Something else again.
Yeah, they really are. Oh, I don't believe it.
What's
Look at that.
Is that architectural?
Winchester Cathedral, Norman Mouldings, Hampshire Abbey, Malmesbury Abbey. Those are extraordinary.
I'm not surprised he was short-sighted.
Look at the detail.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful. Really is beautiful. And then the ships.
Is any of this dated? I mean, don't worry, I can have a look at this on Thursday when I come in.
Well, that drawing says October 1911 on it.
Right, I'm sure he's younger than 7.
Some of them, yeah, they've all September 1911, 1909, signed, W.N. Booker, April 09. So they're all signed.
He's doing this as a schoolboy.
Incredible drawings. They're stunning. Right in the back, stunning like that. Oh, wow.
Yes, he's doing PGs.
Look at that.
What is it? Can we make a Christmas card out of it?
Oh, it's just beautiful. Gloucester Cathedral roof, look at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely astounded. I mean, if this is a school exercise book. That is beyond belief. It really is. The quality of that work is. How old do you reckon? So would you say then in 1909 and 11?
I can't. I'm sure he's younger, but we're probably 2 years younger. So he would have left in about 14. What's that? Age 15.
What's the Oxford in Cambridge?
15 in 1908. So that suggests he's older than. Oh no, that's Stanley again.
This is Stanley again, yeah.
Yeah, that fits.
Throw a wee mouse banging on the door. Those, honestly, people need to see that. Don't
Yeah,
they?
it's all-
That's so beautiful.